Hey you guys, and happy Friday. We've made it to spring break. After today, I guess technically we haven't made it to spring break. We've made it to the day before spring break. Tomorrow is spring break, and you won't have to think about schoolwork for a whole week and a day, so I'm very proud of you. You deserve it. We all deserve it, actually. So anyways, I'm going to go over the two of the 3 homework problems from Wednesday, because yesterday I did not put up a video going over these. I only put up the review problems. So I'm going to do these 2 problems. The other problem, which was like number 2, I think 2 or 3, like everybody got it right, so I don't feel like I need to go over that one. And then I'm going to go over the most missed questions from the review. Again, most of you did excellent on it, but I just wanted to go over it for the few of you who feel like you might need to hear it again one more time. And then you just need to take your quiz. So if you feel good with the review, you can go straight to the quiz. But I just thought I'd have this out there in case anybody wanted to do a little quick refresher before your quiz. Sorry, I'm having a sip of water. Okay, so number 5 says, Ron quit bowling and took up sailing. His sail for his boat. Okay, so we have a 45, 45, 90 triangle. So that means these 2 sides are the same, and these are 45 and 45. Okay? The base of the sail is 6 feet long. What would be the height of the sail and then the length of the hypotenuse? Okay, so if this is a 45, 45, we're going to name it X, X, and X root 2. Okay, so those are our like labels or whatever. And so now we're going to ask ourselves, did I give you X or did I not? If I gave you X, you're just going to plug it in. And I did in this case. So because X is 6, we can just plug it right in. So this other piece is going to be 6 and it's feet. I'll update that in a second. Let's do that. And then we're going to plug in 6 here. So 6 root 2 feet. So the height is 6. Remember, height is measured straight up and down. So that's your height. And then the hypotenuse, don't forget feet. Hypotenuse would equal 6 root 2 feet. Okay. And number 6 says, one of the most amazing things. Okay, so this is a honeycomb. And a honeycomb is a regular hexagon. So we can laugh at me when I try to draw this. All right, not terrible, but, you know, it could be better. It says if the side of these honeycomb cells is 2 millimeters, so all of these are 2, okay? And the reason that that's important is because our formula requires perimeter, and that helps us find perimeter. Okay, for me, that's pretty darn good, I'd say. Okay, so it says what is the area. So let's write down the area formula. Area equals apothem times perimeter divided by 2. So we need to find the apothem, but we know the perimeter. So the perimeter is at all sides. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And we just got to figure out what the apothem is. So the apothem is this guy. It's basically the height of one triangle. Okay, and then I'm going to come over here and redraw that triangle. So this is our 60, and this is our 30. So we know, the reason that I know that is because if I go back to the picture, all of these are equilateral triangles, so they're all 60 degrees. And then once I drop the height, the apothem, then it cuts that in half. So this is 30 and 30, and then 60 and 60. So we're working with a 30, 60, 90. So this whole length is 2 here. But if I cut it in half, this is just going to be 1 millimeter, okay? And then I can use my special right triangle rules for across from the 30 is going to be X. The hypotenuse is 2X, and then the remaining side is X root 3. And then this is a quote-unquote easy kind because I'm giving you X. X is 1. So if I do 2 times 1, I'm going to get 2. And you may have already remembered that since those are equilateral, all these would be 2 as well. But if you didn't, you could figure it out this way. And then if X is 1, then that means the height or the apothem is 1 root 3. Okay, so then you're going to put in 1 root 3. The 1 is not necessary, but if you put it, that's absolutely okay. And so we're going to multiply these. So the 1 times the 12 here and here will give me 12 root 3 over 2, and then 12 divided by 2 is 6, this right here. And then our unit would be millimeters squared, because we're finding area. So let's write it clearly. 6 root 3 millimeters squared. Okay? So I'm going to do one more of these problems in just a minute, so if you need to see it one more time, I'm going to do that. All right, so those are the 2 problems from Wednesday, just to make sure we're clear. Just a few people missed them on the homework when you submitted it. All right, now I'm going to go over I think it's like 6 problems that were most missed, and so from the review. So number 3 is a 45-45. Excuse me. And so I'm going to label it x, x, x root 2. So did I give you x? The answer is no, so we need to write an equation. So we're going to write the equation x root 2 equals 4. And then I'm going to divide by root 2. Okay, and then I'm going to get the root out of the denominator. So now I'm going to have 4 root 2 over 2. And then these divide. So then that's 2 root 2. And that's my x. And both of these, so E and F, should both be 2 root 2. These are your congruent sides here, so they should be congruent. All right, so once I know 2 root 2, I know the other one. All right, so that's that one. Okay, so if these, number 6, if these are 30 up here at the top, then that means this is going to be 60. All right, and then by angle, side angle, we know angle, and then the side that's the reflexive property, and then angle, we know these triangles are going to be congruent. So basically I just need to find one of them, and then I'll know the m's will be the same. Okay, so if you wanted to redraw it, you certainly could, like this, you know. Okay, and so I'm going to label it. So I'm going to label across, I guess I should put my 30, across from the 30 is x, 2x is the hypotenuse, and then x root 3 is my k side. I should have put k in here. All right, I didn't give you x, but I gave you the next best thing. So 2x equals 5, so that means x would equal 2.5. You could also leave it as 5 over 2, but I think most of us left it as 2.5. So our m is going to equal 2.5 because that's our x side, and then we're going to plug in 2.5 here. And so our k side is going to equal 2.5 root 3. All right. Let's keep on keeping on. So then I'm going to do the last page, all of the last page. Okay, it says, what is the length of the side of an equilateral triangle? Okay, so remember, equilateral triangle means all sides are congruent. Whose altitude is another name for height, has a length of 18. So the height is 18 units. And we're trying to find the side length, okay? It could be that, it could be this, and it could be that, because they're all congruent, all right? Okay, so we should know it's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. This whole angle is 60 degrees, but when we cut it, this is 30. Okay, so if you want to redraw it just with the 30, 60, 90, you could do like this. All right, and this is 18, and we're trying to find this. Now notice, it's not this side down here, because this is only half. You know, I'm only drawing that. So what we're really trying to find is the hypotenuse. Okay? All right, so let's label x, 2x, x root 3. So I did not give you x, I did not give you 2x, so we need to write an equation. So we're going to do x root 3 equals 18. So we're going to divide by root 3. So we're going to have 18 root 3 over 3. And then we're going to divide those. So x equals 18 divided by 3 is 6 root 3. Now, some of you put that as your answer. That's close, okay? That's your x, which goes here. But remember, we want the whole side length. So 6 root 3 would be here, which means, you know, the other side would also be 6 root 3. So the whole side would actually be 12 root 3. Another way you could find that is just to plug it in over here for the hypotenuse. And then 6 times 2 would be 12 root 3. Okay, so technically what you're looking for is the 12 root 3. Okay, so the length of a side is 12 root 3. It doesn't have a unit, so I'm going to put U. Okay. All right, the perimeter, this one is a little tricky. So it says the perimeter of an equilateral triangle is 38. So it's kind of the same question, but just maybe a little titch harder because it's asking you for the, it's giving you the perimeter. It's asking for the altitude. So we're trying to find X here. Now, perimeter means we've added all the sides and they've equaled 36. Well, you guys, if they're all the same because it's an equilateral triangle, that means we can just do 36 divided by 3. Okay, and 36 divided by 3 is 12. So that means this side is 12, 12, and 12. And you can double check yourself. It's 12 plus 12 plus 12, 36. And the answer is yes. Okay, and then we have our 30, 60, 90. Okay, and so if you wanted to redraw just the one triangle, this would be 12 and this would be 6, right? Because we're cutting this side in half. Okay, and we're trying to solve for the altitude or the height. Okay. All right, so let's do our labeling. So across from the 30 is X. This is 2X, and that holds true, right? If X is 6, then 2X would be 12, so that's good. And then we're trying to find the X side, which is really the X root 3 side, okay? Which, if I give you X, all you have to do is plug in and you're done. So the answer here is 6 root 3, because I'm going to plug this X in here, okay? And I didn't have a unit. All right, so the next problem is find the area of a parallelogram. So the first thing we need to remember is area equals base times height. And this is your height, okay? This is your base. So we already know area equals 14 times, and then the height is what we need to find. So I'm going to redraw this triangle a little bit bigger. And we know that this is 10. So we're looking for H, okay? So I'm going to label my triangle. So this is my 2X. This is my X. 2X, remember, is always the hypotenuse. And this is X root 3. So I gave you not X, but I gave you the next best thing. So if 2X equals 10, then we divide by 2, and X equals 5. So I'm going to plug in 5 here, and then 5 here. So our height of this parallelogram is 5 root 3. Okay, and so then I'm good to go with just multiplying. All I need to multiply is 4 times the 5. Excuse me, not 4. 14 times the 5. So I'm going to actually multiply the outer numbers. So that's 70, and then bring my root 3 down, and then units squared. Okay. And then the last one says find the area. All right, so let's remind each other that the area equals apothem. I know that's confusing because it's like 2 A's. I get that. So the apothem is like the height right here. This is our A. Okay, I'm going to redraw this triangle a little bit bigger. Now I'm just drawing this right here. Okay, it says whose sides measure 12. So 12 all the way around. So when I come to this picture, I don't want to put 12 in the base because do y'all see I'm only doing half of 12. So this part is going to be 6. Okay, but this is going to be 12, right? Because these are equilateral triangles. So all of these are 12 as well. Okay, and then it's a 60-degree angle here and then a 30-degree angle here because 60 goes in all the corners, as you can see here. And then by dropping the height or the apothem, it splits that angle in half. Okay, so I'm going to label this x, 2x, and x root 3. And so I gave you x, so yay, this one's not too bad. So we're going to plug this x in here. And so this apothem, or the height, is 6 root 3. Now we need to fill in the formula. Okay, so our area equals, our apothem is 6 root 3. Our perimeter, so to find perimeter, we're going to do 12 times 6, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides. So that's 72. So our perimeter is 72, and then we're going to divide by 2. So I'm going to do the 6 times the 72, and that gives me 432 root 3 over 2. And then I'm just going to divide these two. So 432 divided by 2 is 216 root 3. And then we'll just put units squared. Oh wait, we actually know the unit on this one, sorry. Centimeters squared. Okay, so my hope is maybe hearing it one more time will help you. And now once you've kind of viewed the video, you can, use your notes, keep them handy, and you can do the 15 question quiz. And here's to a great spring break for all of us. Please make sure you're staying home and being safe, but nonetheless, I hope you relax and don't worry too much about school for the week. All right, miss you guys. Bye.